5 retired geologists of the Geological Survey of India, with their spouses and few friends, visited the Andaman group of islands, the southernmost part of the country and probably the most picturesque. The objective of this trip was to put the Andaman Nicobar Islands on the geotourism map of India and the world. The Andaman Nicobar Islands represent the squeezed and folded layers of plastic-like rocks which were developed in the forearc setting due to multiple thrusting. Spiced with stories of India's independence struggle, chaste cultural antiquity of Adivasi settlers, demonstrating a link of the subcontinent with the continent of Africa, the proliferation of biodiversity, and live volcanoes spewing ash and gas make an attractive collage for a geopark. The breathtaking natural beauty of Kalapathar beach against the sands and blue waves define the landscape of Swaraj Deep, so named after the historical event that the Indian flag was first hoisted at Subhash Chandra Bose on this island. The story of the Baratang, meaning 12 legs, goes back millions of years when the limestones were deposited deep in the oceans and were brought up by the collision of the Burmese plate with the Indian plate. Subsequent erosion and the architecture made by the trickling waters has given the caves the beautiful natural architecture, the stalactites trickling down from the rooftop. Here, and the picturesque natural beauty of these caves, one would not miss the little birds flying in and out of the caves. These swiftlets, they make their nests which are edible. These nests are rich in protein with a few other ingredients. This is a delicacy in Chinese cuisine. Andaman fish, dramatically seen in the North Bay Islands, have hewn the majority of the landscape in the South Andaman Islands and in some parts of Middle and North Andaman Islands too, and are again have been raised from the seabed. Ophiolites of Munda Pahar, Badmash Pahar, interesting name, isn't it? Probably the Badmash Pahar derives its name from the fact that many prisoners sent to the Andaman, and it was called Kalapani. The Corbin's Cove pillow lavas. These pillow lavas are diagnostic of the fact that the lava has gone into the sea and cooled. That's why the structure which resembles our pillow. These are deep-seated rocks. They represent the magma from deep down below, as deep as 30 kilometers. And they were again exhumed by the activity of the Burmese plate. These ophiolites are intersliced with the marine sedimentary rocks. Let's visualize that certain of these magma was coming up into the seabed where already sediment layers had formed. So they got some kind of an interslicing one between the other. I recall a very novel experience which I had for the first time traveling through the length and breadth of this country for the last several decades. We started from our camps early in the morning, as early as 3:34, to go to the Baratang caves.
In the middle Andaman Baratang Island, we see a mud volcano and mud flow. The mud volcano is created by natural gases emitted by decaying of organic matter from underground. The mud is physically pushed upwards by the gas, which is deposited and hardens on the ground. As more and more mud oozes out and spills over, it gradually forms a miniature volcano-like structure with a creamy mud crater at the top.
The route passes through beautiful virgin forests. However, these are occupied by some of the most primitive tribes anywhere in the world. And the government has imposed such restrictions to protect the identity of these tribal that a convoy of 30 vehicles is allowed to pass through escorted by sufficient security, and you are not permitted to either stop your vehicle or get down from your car or try to have any communication with the tribal. Occasionally, you do encounter these tribals waiting on the roadside, many times hoping that they would get some food from the so-called civilized part of the country. We desisted from any such kind of a temptation. One novelty is that even in the daytime, there's the vibrant sounds of the cricket that greets you in this virgin forest. One part of the islands which is out of bound, of course, including the barren island, where civilians are not permitted unless you are on some kind of an official assignment to visit the barren islands. One another area which is out of bounds to the tourists is the Sentinel Island, inhabited by one of the most primitive tribes of the continent. And these tribes are totally secluded. The approach of the government of India is to ensure their safety, at the same time distancing ourselves from them so that we do not impinge upon their lifestyle and living. So this is another novelty of the Sentinel Islands and the Andaman Nicobar Islands. There's much more to see. There is an endless array of pictures, beauty, which we hope to see in years to come.
Andaman birds. The most commonly seen birds in Andaman is this red-whiskered bulbul. The Andaman red-whiskered bulbul is a subspecies of the Indian red-whiskered bulbul. Both look similar in physical characteristics, but the Andaman species is considered rarer and more localized in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Kentish plover is a small pale plover species observed in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. A winter migrant seen in the mudflats, sandy beaches, and salt ponds. Kentish plovers has a sandy brown upper parts, grayish legs, and black bills, mostly seen as flocks resting on the sandy beaches. The Andaman white-headed starling is a distinctive starling with a white head and breast, dark gray back, and yellow legs and pale bill, and is seen mostly in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. They mostly inhabit paddy fields, open woodlands, forest edges, and human habitations. They are seen foraging for insects and tender coconut pulp leftovers. Andaman cuckoo shrike is a stocky medium-sized cuckoo shrike with dark gray upper parts, strong barring underparts, and usually inhabits dense forest covers. It is endemic to the Andaman Islands. Oriental magpie robin is a commonly seen bird in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Though a subspecies of the Indian oriental magpie, it has a distinct black and white plumage and are spotted by their melodious song calls. The main species is found on the mainland of the Indian subcontinent. The Andamanese subspecies is darker, heavier built, with a short tail. Red-breasted parakeet or the mustached parakeet are found in the Andaman Islands. It is a subspecies of a wider range of parakeets found on the mainland of the Indian subcontinent. White-throated kingfisher is again a subspecies and is known for its larger size, dark brown underparts when compared to the other main species. Birds at Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Himalayas, the abode of snow, is a mountain range which divides the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau. Its folded mountain ranges have a diverse range of flora which supports a rich endemic fauna. Some of these species we will now be seeing. Himalayas, with its mighty snow-fed rivers, form the vast alluvial plains in the Indian subcontinent. Mount Everest, with an elevation of 29,032 feet, 8,849 meters, is the tallest mountain in the world. Asian brown flycatcher is a small insectivorous flycatcher which breeds in Japan, eastern Siberia, and the Himalayas. It migrates and winters in South Asia, South India, Sri Lanka, and the east to Indonesia. Black kite is a medium sized raptor. As a scavenging bird, they are opportunistic hunters, spends most of the time soaring and gliding on the thermals. It can be easily identified by their angled wings and forked tail. Here it is enjoying its scavenged food. Bar-winged flycatcher shrike is again a small flycatcher inhabiting South Asia from the Himalayas to South India and Indonesia. Barn swallows is the most widespread species of the swallows, occurring in all these continents of the world. This species lives close to human habitations and is tolerated by humans. It normally nests under man-made structures and builds a cup-shaped nest with mud pellets and feeds on insects caught in flight. Bulbuls. Altogether, we saw three species of bulbuls: the Asian black bulbul, the red-vented bulbul, and the Himalayan bulbul. Asian black bulbul or the black bulbul is found primarily in the Himalayas and has a wide range from all of this Himalayan foothills. It is characterized by rich orange, red bill and legs. The red-vented bulbul is generally considered as a very ferocious species, but in contrast, the black bulbul seems to be more ferocious than the red-vented bulbuls. With one call, it dislodged a pair of red-vented bulbuls from the branch. Red-vented bulbul is a resident breeder in the Indian subcontinent. It is one of the 100 invasive species in the world. It is a ferocious species, attacking any other local species which enter their territory. Here we see honeybees in competition for nectar from the red silk cotton flowers. There are several subspecies of this bird in many countries. Being invasive, several countries try to exterminate them with little success. Himalayan bulbul or the white-cheeked bulbul is considered as the superspecies of the bulbuls in other continents. It occurs in the foothills of the Himalayas and is quite territorial. It is characterized by a black crest, head, and white whiskers and yellow vent. Commonly seen in the gardens and low tree canopy, it feeds on insects, berries, fruits, buds, and nectar. Black stork is fairly a large migratory bird and winters in the Himalayan region. Often seen in the foothills of the Himalayas, it prefers wooded wetland areas. They have pink to red bills and legs. The underparts are white and a black neck. It feeds mostly on crustaceans and amphibians. Barbets. We have seen about 4 species of barbets in Dehradun and surrounding areas. 1. The blue-throated barbet, the great barbet, which is endemic, lineated barbet, and the coppersmith barbet. Blue-throated barbet is an Asian barbet and is non-migratory, inhabiting the Himalayan foothills. Seen often perched on high canopy, its melodious calls draws attention. Its plumage is another attention seeker, with its bright, vibrant green with a blue throat, red and yellow crown, and pale, broad strong bill. Barbets usually chisel out tree trunks for nest making, unlike woodpeckers that make holes in dead trees for wood boring grubs. Great barbet is native to the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia and endemic to the Himalayan foothills. Considered as one of the largest barbets, it has a colorful olive back body, black head, and a massive pale bill. Perches often on high green canopy and gives a hooting call. The call is heard, but the bird is difficult to spot. Lineated barbet is another Asian barbet seen in the foothills of the Himalayas along the Brahmaputra basin to the Southeast Asia. It is frugivorous and carved tree hole nester. Its plumage is light luminous greens, streaked grey-brown head, and flesh-pink bill and a bare pink patch around the eye. Copper Smith barbet, also called the crimson-breasted barbet, is a resident bird of the Indian subcontinent. Its crimson forehead and bright yellow patch around the eye and the crimson throat patch gives it a beautiful appearance. It gets its name from its call that sounds like a coppersmith striking metal with a hammer. It is a ficus fruit eater and nests in tree holes that it carves. Cinereous tit is a large tit found in dense hilly forests and parks in much of Asia, from India to Indonesia. The adult has a flash white cheek on a black head, a black stripe on the belly, and grey wings. Collared dove, or the Eurasian collared dove, is native to Europe, Africa, and Northern Asia. It is medium-sized dove and gets its name due to a black half-collared edge with a white nape, red short legs, and a black bill. It is not migratory but does colonize in several countries. Spotted dove, or the eastern spotted dove, is a common resident breeding across the Indian subcontinent. There are plumage variations due to its wide range and is called by several names like the mountain dove, pearl-necked dove, lace-necked dove, and the spotted trottle dove. Common myna, or the Indian myna, is a native to Asia. It is omnivorous, inhabiting woodlands and urban areas. Considered as one of the most invasive species in the world that threatens biodiversity, agriculture, and human interests. The common myna is identified by its brown body, black hooded head, yellow colored bill and legs. It has a white patch on the outer wings and a rounded square tip tail. Vocalizations it can mimic humans and other birds. Tailor bird are small warblers with short rounded wingspan and tail. Tailor bird gets their name by the way they stitch the large leaves together with plant fiber and spider webs, lining the bottom with grass and soft material. Vultures. We saw two types of vultures. One, the Himalayan griffon vulture, and then the second, the Egyptian vulture. Himalayan griffon vulture is native to the Himalayan foothills and the northeast India. It is the largest and the heaviest of the vultures in the Himalayas. Their diet consists of carrion. They are social birds and live and feed in groups. With very sensitive olfactory glands, they can smell the putrefying carrion from a distance and can separate flesh and bones in matter of minutes. They are excellent scavenging birds that keep the environment clean. Egyptian vulture, also called the scavenger vulture or the Pharaoh's chicken, has a wide continental distribution. They generally soar on thermals during the day. mostly feeds on carrion. They are opportunistic hunters of small mammals. This bird is the one that uses tools, breaking eggshells of other birds by tossing pebbles like a hammer on them. The adult plumage is white with black flight feathers. Here, watch the wings shape. Does it remind you of our modern day aircraft wings? Feral rock dove or the rock pigeon is a common pigeon in urban areas than the wild areas. They are pale gray with two dark bands near the tail. Mostly they live in holes, ledges, and windowsills in man made structures. This bird is now becoming a nuisance in spreading a bird pneumonia from its fecal matter. In so much so that apartments have to be netted to discourage nesting and dirtying the place. Woodpeckers. We have seen two varieties of woodpeckers, the brown capped pygmy woodpecker and the second, the greater flameback woodpecker. Brown capped pygmy woodpecker or the Indian pygmy woodpecker is a very small woodpecker found from Nepal, India, and Sri Lanka. It is small, brown, and white spotted with distinctive pink rimmed white irises, brown capped striped head patterns. It's excellent camouflage on the bark of trees. It perches on the trunks of trees and pecks the old bark for grubs. Greater flameback, greater goldenback, or the large golden-backed woodpecker occurs widely in the northern Indian subcontinent. The adult male has a red crown, while the female has a spotted black or white to yellow crown. It has a fused long bill to the skull. Leg claws help it to walk on tree trunks in search of food, which are grubs in dead wood. Woodpeckers peck the tree trunks for food, which they retrieve with their harpoon like tongues, unlike the barbets, which carve holes in the trees for nesting. Green sandpiper is a small wader seen along the shores of rivers and water bodies. The species is a plumb wader with a dark greenish brown back, wings, and short legs. It is migratory, wintering in southern Europe, Indian subcontinent, and South Asia and Africa. Its main food are small invertebrates picked from mud as it steadily walks along edges of freshwater ponds and rivers. White-throated bushchat or the Hodgson's bushchat is an insectivorous flycatcher which winters in Nepal and the national parks and the foothills of the Himalayas, breeds at high altitudes and moves in wet grassy fields, meadows, and along waterside grasslands. Indian grey hornbill is a common hornbill found in the Indian subcontinent. Mostly sighted as pairs, they breed inside hollow tree trunks. The upper parts are grayish brown with a dark black to grey horn with a casque extending to a point of curvature. Size of the casque varies in females and males. The males have a larger ones. They have red iris and eyelids have eyelashes. House crow. The most common scavenging bird in urban areas is the house crow. A very intelligent bird with a good memory. Their unity among its species is worth praising. This bird's presence and the clearing of the rotting garbage makes our neighborhood clean. They are known to remember their human enemies and collectively torment them for months. They use clothes hangers, electric wires, iron wires to build their nests. Its Latin or the scientific name Corvus splendens is apt for this splendid bird. Indian jungle crow are generally seen in forested areas and rarely in the urban areas. Their call is quite different from the house crow. Plumage is dark black uniformly all over its body. Large-billed crow or the thick-billed crow is a widespread Asian crow identified by its large bill with very slight variation in plumage and size. This crow almost is raven-sized. The call vary from each species. House sparrows. Once seen in great numbers around households, they are now on a decline. Males have one dark brown black necked and almost white body, while the females are buff colored. Indian roller are medium sized birds with an iridescent blue body, brown neck and back, and dark blue flight wings. It gets its name due to the rolling flight movements. The roller is the state bird of many Indian states. Jungle babblers is a gregarious bird foraging in small groups of 7 to 10, also called the Seven Sisters. They search the leaf litter for insects and seeds. Red jungle fowl are large birds with males in colorful plumage, while the females are dull earth brown. Mostly in the wooded areas, the male's call is a shrill crow. They are considered as the ancestors of the domestic chicken. The gene modified varieties of farm bred chickens with more egg laying and meat purpose are now in large production. Himalayan owl is endemic to the wooded areas and rarely seen nocturnal bird, mainly feeding on rodents. It is a small owl which makes its home in the Himalayan region. Similar to the forest owl, which is seen in the central India and not found in the Himalayan region. Fading evening light is the result of this shot. Kingfishers. We have seen three varieties of kingfishers: the crested kingfisher, the common kingfisher, and the white-throated kingfisher. Crested kingfisher is a very large, stocky black and white bird with shaggy black and white barred crest. Seen along the fast-flowing streams, it has dense, fine barring which gives a silvery appearance. Primarily found in North India and the foothills of the Himalayas, they prefer to perch along large rivers and on high trees for potential prey. The common kingfisher, also known as the Eurasian kingfisher, is a small, brightly colored bird with its stunning blue and orange plumage. Though small, they are expert divers and fishers. White-throated kingfisher is known to inhabit the Himalayan region. Though primarily a bird of low elevation, it has been observed in the higher elevations of the Himalayas up to 7,500 feet. Known to perch on suitable perches like trees, electric wires in urban areas and along the Himalayan streams. Little ringed plover is a small plover, its Latin name suggesting bird of river valley and dubious meaning doubtful. Adult ringed plovers have gray-brown back wings of white belly and a white breast, black neck band, brown cap, white forehead, dark bill, and webbed feet. Forages in the shallow waters due to its short legs. Long-tailed shrike is a common bird species that is seen in the Himalayas. Its distinctive features are long, narrow black tail, black mask. In the Himalayas, it is the eastern subspecies. Its Latin names, Linus means butcher, is apt for this bird as it behaves like a butcher, impaling its prey on thorny trees and later devours them when they are soft. Prey comprise small rodents, lizards, and birds. Scarlet minivet. As the name suggests, males are scarlet in color. Here, it's the female which is yellowish in color. Notice the odd pairs on the same perch, the feral rock pigeons and the jungle crows. This was taken at the Rajaji National Park. Indian white eye, formerly called the Oriental white eye, is a resident bird in the Indian subcontinent, a small bird which feeds on insects and nectar. Presently, it is called as the Indian white eye, denoting its geographical location and range. The bird is small, yellowish olive, and a prominent white eye ring and grayish underparts. Pale-billed flowerpecker is found in the Indian subcontinent and the Himalayas. It's a small bird with a pale curved beak, mostly feeds on nectar and small berries. Indian peafowl, also called as the common peafowl or the blue peafowl, is native to the Indian subcontinent and is the national bird of India. Colloquially called the peacock for males, which are brightly colored, bluish head, a fan-shaped crest, a long train of tail feathers with colorful eye spots. A beautiful bird with a courtship dance of raised fan-like tail feathers. The female hens are dull brown to grayish in color. Khalij pheasant is a native to the Himalayan foothills with a distinctive plumage, with males displaying glossy blue-black feathers and a red patch around the eyes and silvery crest. It is the state bird of the Jammu and Kashmir. The females display a dull brown pattern. Pied bushchat is a small bird found throughout the Indian subcontinent, including the Himalayan region. The males are distinctive black and white plumage with a white vent and a prominent white wing patch. The females are typically brown with or a reddish brown rump and underparts. They are insectivorous, foraging in the open habitats like grasslands and shrublands. Himalayan prenia or the striated prenia is a small active bird found in the Himalayas. It has a striped plumage, long tail, black beak, and grayish underparts. It has a wide distribution from Afghanistan to Arunachal Pradesh, all along the Himalayan foothills. Rose-ringed parakeet, also called the ring-necked parakeet, is not a native to the Himalayas, but is widespread in the Indian subcontinent. Introduced in Britain and Europe, they thrived well with quite a sizable population in those countries. Plum-headed parakeet or the blossom-headed parakeet is typically found in the Himalayan foothills and the Indian subcontinent. They are seen in wooded areas and city gardens. The males sport a head which is plum red in color, while the females have a slaty or gray colored head. Pond heron is a common bird found in most of the aquatic habitats like wetlands, paddy fields, and low-lying water bodies. A stealth hunter of frogs, fish, and crustaceans. Purple sunbird is a small bird found all over the Indian subcontinent. The males are metallic, bluish, and purple in color, while the females are olive green. Their main diet is nectar from flowers, for which it flies swiftly, visiting as many as flowers it can visit. Lapwings. We saw two varieties of lapwings. One, the red wattle. The second, river lapwing or the Asian lapwing. Red-watered lapwing is found in the Himalayan regions are the common sight in open areas and near rivers, mud flats and cultivated fields. Their loud distinctive call of "did you do it, did you do it" mostly a ground nesting bird due to absence of claws on its feet. Often does a diversion tactics to safeguard its chicks and females. River lapwing is found in the Indian subcontinent, including areas near Himalayas, in habitats of the large rivers and surrounding areas. It has a black crest, crown and face. The throat and sides of the neck are grayish white. The underparts are white with a belly patch. The upper parts are brown, white rump and black tail. Bill and legs are also black. And these are devoid of claws. It is a ground bird. Rufus trepai is a widespread bird species in a large part of Asia and Himalayas. Seasonal migrant in the Garhwal Himalayas. The plumage of the main body color is cinnamon, black head and graduated tail. The underparts are warm brown, lower back is warm tawny brown. The bill, legs and feet are black. Siberian stonechat is a small flycatcher and which breeds across Asia, including the Himalayas. It is migratory, wintering in the mountain regions of the Himalayas, India, and Southeast Asia. They are insectivorous and can be seen foraging in the fields and pastures, often sitting on exposed perches. Thrushes. We have seen 4 types of thrushes in the Uttarakhand area: the streaked laughing thrush, the blue rock thrush, the blue whistling thrush, and the white crested laughing thrush. Streaked laughing thrush is a common bird found in the lower and the middle elevations of the Himalayan region. It is distinctive brownish orange colored with white streaks on the neck and forages on the ground beside road margins and hill slopes, unmindful of the presence of human and moving vehicles. Blue rock thrush is a bird species that breeds in the Himalayas and migrates south in the winter. The males are blue-gray, while the females are dark brown upper parts and pale brown underparts. The male sings a clear, melodious call. Blue whistling thrush is commonly found in the central Himalayan region. It is a striking blue-violet plumage bird with yellow beak and white fine dots on the body. It is spotted for its loud human-like distinctive whistling song call both at dusk and dawn, and hence gets its name. White crested laughing thrush is found in the Himalayan foothills and Southeast Asia. A highly social and vocal bird in the forest and scrub, searching for food in the leaf litter like beetles, spiders, mealyworms, caterpillars, snails, and leeches. It also eats fruit, seed, and nectar. Red starts. We have seen 3 types of red starts: the plumbeous water red start, the white-capped red start, and the black red start. Plumbeous red start is found in the Himalayas and other mountainous regions of Asia. These birds are seen close to streams and rivers, foraging along the rocky edges. Males are slaty blue and a rusty red tail. Females are pale grey and with a white rump. White-capped redstart is a common sight along rushing mountain streams of the Himalayas. This striking bird has a white cap, black body, and reddish-orange underbelly and tail. Both the sexes are similar, but the males have a larger white cap. It is a native to the Indian subcontinent, Southeast Asia, China, and Central Asia. Black redstart is a small bird that breeds across the temperate regions of Eurasia and migrates to the Indian subcontinent during winter. Adult males are dark grey to black with the neck and upper parts, the lower parts, and the rump are orange-red. Wagtails. We saw two types of wagtails, the white wagtail and the grey wagtail. White wagtails are seen in the Himalayas, particularly in the lower elevations and river margins. An insectivorous bird of the open country and along the water bodies, its continuous tail wagging gives it the name wagtail. A common breeder of the Indian subcontinent, it is found south of the Himalayas, east of the Indus River systems, and to the west of Bangladesh. Himalayan grey wagtail. A common bird in the Himalayan region, breeding above 3000 meters in the mountainous regions and flowing water bodies. It is somewhat similar to yellow wagtail with the difference of the yellow restricted to the throat and vent. Breeding males have a black throat. Now for the wildlife. Seen mostly at the Rajaji National Park are the Indian langurs, the rhesus macaques, samba deer, spotted deer, and the Indian elephant. The Indian langur, seen mostly at human habitations and sharing the human places like Masuri. Here we see an Indian langur with a corn cob. They are seen here making the best use of the statue of the Mahatma Gandhi, resting on his arms and one faithfully at his feet. Rhesus macaques. Now a common sight in most of the cities, these macaques have become a nuisance, raiding household kitchens and plundering into refrigerators for food. Here we see this female with an amputated wrist. It would come every day and sit on the railing of our hotel in anticipation. Earlier, these were exported as lab animals or for testing of cosmetics and other medicines. Butterflies and bees. We saw several butterflies, of which is the common palm fly, the common sailor, the chocolate pansy, Indian cabbage white, common five rings, tortoise shell, and the Indian honey bee. Presence of the Indian honey bee indicates a very good environment, an excellent pollinators and producers of honey.
The story of Dehradun Geopark is set between Mohand Anticline and the Tal trilobite, cherry picking from series of frames of the picturesque Himalayan mountainscape. The drift of the continental plate, which became India, has been actively subducting on two fronts. On the east, against the Burmese plate, causing emergence of Andaman Islands, and in the north-northeast, the marine sediments of the Sea of Tethys were being dredged by the abducting Eurasian plate. The folded sediments were lodged on the edge of Indian continent to form the magnificent Himalayas. We have chosen about 5 locations for our geopark from the geological component. The rest will be from architecture and cultural events. Here we have the Mahand anticline, then the Dehradun syncline with other formations, MBT, main boundary thrust, then the Krols and Tal and Masuri. With this, in this map, we have the Himalayan frontal thrust here, and all other formations which I have showed here are placed in this map on this side. Coming to Mohand anticline, which is a fold, anticlinal fold in the Sivalik caused by the Himalayan frontal thrust. This is the beginning of the Sivalik formation, and then we go ahead towards Lesser Himalayas. The boulder beds, boulder conglomerate with the main boundary thrust is the sheared pebbles and cobbles of this conglomerate bed, which is cleaved and almost sliced under the pressure of main boundary thrust. So our components of the geopark are confined between this Himalayan frontal thrust and the main boundary thrust. We come to the Blaney diamectite. This is one location of the diamectite, with the drop stones of glacial marine deposits signifying the entire Earth going through cryogenian period around 630 million years ago. These formations have been dated to be 690 million years. And this started at 635 billion years ago. The Earth suffered a cryogenian effect, and the entire Earth was covered with snow, even up to the equator. We have now Kroll. With the recession of the cryogenian period, there was warming and transgression and formation of the first evolution, rather, of first life stromatolite. This stromatolitic structure on the Missouri flank below Gun Hill is on the argillaceous dolomite. This is an anticline in Thal, and it is a contact of Precambrian with the Cambrian. The dark patches here on the west, this side, are phosphorite, phosphatic material, which is again related to bacterial life. The significance of Thal is, in this geopark, we have taken for the presence of trilobite, which is again the first skeletal life form. Prior to that, the stromatolite did not have skeletal components. So this is the first one, and it is now my wishful thinking that someday this Mussoorie-Dehradun bypass may be named Trilobite Trail. I wish this happens. The entire set of formations from dune gravels to Thal are all shown here on this mountainscape, with the index for each formation differently shown here: Narthat, Quartzite, Blaney, Kroll, Infracroll. Then we have got this Thal here. And Chandpur, but we have confined our geopark components between this Blaney to Thal. Our participants in the field trip to Dehradun, and from the top of Mussoorie Hill, one can get this view with telescopic aid. This Kedarnath Peak, Gangotri Glacier, Srikanta, and the peak, and then Black Peak or Kalanak Peak. This is a flight to the mountain peaks. The rest of the components like the caves, Rajaji National Park, Buddhist Monastery, and Nilkanteshwar Temple will be included subsequently.